Welcome to Work It, Live It, Own It, a show that explores how to upgrade your lifestyle through life lessons, real estate, and entrepreneurship. Here's your hostess, SaCola Lair. Hello, everyone. I'm your hostess, SaCola Lair, and welcome to 2024 and the Work It, Live It, Own It podcast. This is the place to be if you are an entrepreneur and you're looking to not only grow your business, but also empower your personal life. And so if you're joining me for the first time, I just want to extend a warm, heartfelt welcome. If you are continuously tuning in, thank you so much. Because again, this podcast is about empowering entrepreneurs like you to work it, live it, own it in your everyday lives. So without further ado, I want to dive in and share something with you that I've been doing for the past couple of years, and it has worked tremendously for me. And I want to share it with you, and I want to give you some insight. So I want to give you three major points on how you can choose your word of the year, where you can go to find your word of the year. And then I want to actually talk about the power of intention. What does being truly intentional mean, and how we can flourish together? And then I want to give you 2 takeaways on how to get to the road of discovery. And it's all about choosing one word of the year and not resolutions. A lot of people talk about setting New Year's resolutions, but what happens statistically when you set New Year resolutions? By the end of January, a certain percentage people start to drop off with the resolutions. By the end of March, even more people drop off in the resolutions. And there's a very small percentage of people or entrepreneurs that will maintain their resolutions throughout the whole year. And for those that do that, applause to you. However, I am not one of those people. And so I will feel disappointed. I will feel dejected because I've set these resolutions. I had great intentions and I didn't stick to them. So I have my accountability partner to thank for this, because I was able for the past couple of years to choose just one word. And that word is the driving force behind why I show up every single day, even when I don't feel the most optimal in performance. I may perform at a 75% level. I'm tired. I don't feel like being bothered, but yet I still show up. 2022 was my word of the year, was consistency, being consistent. She even gave me this nice little bracelet that I would wear. And it was a reminder for me that even when I felt like giving up, I was going to be consistent. And then I thought, what does my future self look like if I'm consistent, if I consistently show up for myself? And I thought about my future self and I said, well, my future self is consistent by doing this. And I just had all this list in my head. I'm showing up for myself, even when no one is watching. I am dressing not for other people. I dress for myself. As one of my former colleagues would say, you know what? When it comes to dressing, I do a little something for the people, but the rest is for me. If I show up, I shake hands, I'm networking. If I don't get a call, I don't resonate, something I said doesn't resonate with them, it doesn't connect with them, they decide to work with someone else. Guess what? I'm still going to show up consistently for myself, for my business, because again, I don't have a business if I don't show up for myself. 2023 was the year of refresh. And I realized that sometimes as business owners, even personally, we can just go through the motions. We can just survive. We're not thriving. We're just surviving. We're just going through the motions day to day. Who wants to do that? And then before you know it, your life is a fleeting fancy is going past you in a blink of an eye. I've had so many loved ones that I've lost in the past year, and it really helped me to see that life is too precious, it's too short, and tomorrow is not promised to anybody. So let's take this moment to reinvigorate myself, to recreate, to refresh. What is it that I really want? And then this year, my word of the year, drum roll please, is flourish. You see how it's been building up from consistency to refresh to flourish. And guys, when I think of the word flourish, that word carries so much vibrancy and life and potential because it's about growth. It's about fulfillment. It's about reaching that highest potential of both personal and business. And so when you think about the word flourish, Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines it as this: to be in a state of activity or production. And then it means to reach a height of development or influence. Does that mean that I'm going to reach the pinnacle and say, yes, I've arrived at the top of the mountain and I'm done? That's it? Absolutely not. Because right when you're at the top of the mountain, Brian Buffini says, hey, while you're at the top of the mountain, you want to throw a little dirt down into the valley because eventually you're going to get down to the bottom. But if you throw a little dirt down in the valley while you're at the top of the mountain, you won't have to drop as far. You won't have to sink so low because you prepared yourself for a rainy day. So I want to share a book with you. I shared this in episode 30, the last episode, but I'm going to share it with you here again. And I'm going to put the link to the book in my show notes. So this book is entitled The One Word That Will Change Your Life. It was written by 3 authors, John Gordon, Jimmy Page, and Dan Britton. One word that will change your life. Now for me, being that high achiever, trying to set high standards for myself and expectations for myself, I start trying to look for my word of the year around October. And I will just say to myself, you know what? Let me just be open. Let my eyes be open. Let my ears hear. Let my ears listen to my word of the year. If I see it and I read it and it just sets me back and go, wow, that's it. That's the word. Sometimes it could be something I heard on the radio. And last year, that's what happened. I saw the word, I read it. Then I was listening to something in my car and I heard the word again. And I said, that's it. That's my word. And so the book goes into all the different ways that you can discover your one word of the year. But having that one word again, that one single reminder can help you to show up for yourself personally and professionally. So that's tip number 1, how you can discover your one word of the year. I highly recommend this book, guys. If you don't have time to read it, because I know we're all busy, please make sure that you listen to it or get the cliff notes, the brief synopsis of what it's about. Okay. Now, for me, like I told you, finding that one intentional word is transformative. It's not just, it's a word, but it's more of a guiding force to help you with your decisions, your actions. So by me choosing my word, flourish, for me, it's an invitation for me to embrace positive change and abundance in my life. Now, here's the other thing I want you to do. I want you to be intentional. Be intentional because it's not just about your aspirations. It's about how is this word, how does it align with my core values? And if you need help discovering what your core values are, for me, I have 5 core values. I want you to listen to episode 13 of the Work It, Live It, Own It podcast. You can go to workitliveitownit.com or just scroll back through and look at episode 13 where I'll talk about how core values can actually help you succeed and thrive in your personal and business life. So check that one out because I give you some takeaways on how to discover and come up with your core values. So the second part is getting that personal insight for yourself into your business, how that one word is going to help transform you through the year. Does that mean that you're going to actually meet that goal all the way and say, yes, I feel refreshed? Did I come away at the end of 2023 saying, yes, I feel absolutely refreshed? No, because life happens. But I do see moments and I can look back and see moments of, wow, I did take time. I realized that time was most important to me over anything. And because I knew time was so important to me, I was able to come up, or my husband and I were able to plan many vacations together. That's refreshing, right? Spending time with friends, refreshing to me. So for my word flourish this year, do I know what exactly that's going to look like, how it's going to take shape? Nope. But I'm also acknowledging that I need to be aware. I need to be open. I need to be vigilant. I need to look out. I need to listen. I need to hear ways in which is going to help me to flourish this year. The third point is don't flourish. Don't do this alone. Whatever your word is, and I'm just saying flourishing because that is my word, but don't do it alone. Flourish together. You're not an island in your business. You're not alone. And sometimes when we're alone, we get trapped in our thoughts, in our thinking, and we may think this is what our target audience wants. This is what the people want to hear. Open it up. Open it up to take information in. I had one guy I had a discussion with, and he was like, you may not like what I'm about to say to you because a lot of people don't like the suggestion that I'm about to make, but I really think you need to do this. And after he told me, I was like, I'm not offended at all. Because if that means your suggestion means helping me to grow, why would I not listen to that? I still have the right to make the final say and make the final decision, but I'm able and open to receive that feedback because I want to grow. And I created this podcast, this platform, so that way we all could flourish together. Because if I could take all the things that I've learned over the years, the past 10 years that I've been an entrepreneur, and share them with you so that way you could avoid some of the bumps, bruises, and scrapes along the way that I've learned, then why wouldn't I not share that with you? So would you do me a favor? If you stayed with me all last year, or if you're new to this, make sure you share this podcast with your fellow entrepreneurs, with your friends, your tribe, your community, because this is the year to flourish. And I want this to grow. I want as many entrepreneurs out there to listen and to hear what I'm talking about. And I'm going to dive into that a little bit more. So again, be empowered by uplifting other people. Oprah Winfrey said, surround yourself with others who are going to lift you higher. And Martha Stewart even says, hey, if you see someone who's working as diligently, as hard as you are, and they're thriving, and a lot of times, sometimes they're doing better than you, invite them in. Invite them in. Why wouldn't you? A lot of times we get so stuck on, oh, they're doing the same thing I'm doing. They're a competitor. You look at people as a competition. Honey, you're not competition to me because I want you to win too. So why not? Let's flourish together. Okay. So one, I want you to discover your word of the year. I want you to check out that book, One Word That Will Change Your Life by John Gordon, Jimmy Page, and Dan Britton. I want you to understand the power of intention by setting your word, making sure that it aligns with not just your aspirations, but also your core values in your business. Check that episode out, episode 13. And then connect with your audience, continue to network, continue to grow, continue to be with people who uplift you and that you uplift each other. You are an interchange of encouragement to each other. So here are your two takeaways for today. The first one is being able to embrace growth during this process, because growth does not always look like rose-colored glasses. It looks like discomfort. It looks like uncertainty. It feels like you're on shaky ground. That's what growth is. You think about our growing years. Some of us, our feet were bigger than our bodies, or our heads were bigger than our bodies, or we grew and everything wasn't proportionate, right? We had growing pains. That's why they call it growing pains. And if you're a guy, sometimes I know my brothers, sometimes they can grow so tall that their bones or their joints don't even have time to catch up, and that hurts. That's why they call it growing pains. Embrace the growth, guys. It's going to get uncomfortable. It's going to be unsettling at times, but you know what? If you embrace the power of growth in your business, in your mind, in your heart, think about how much better you will be on the other side. So embrace that growth when you're choosing your new word. It's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. Again, second one, set intention. Be intentional. If that is your word for the year, try to stick to it. Now, that doesn't mean sometimes your word doesn't change in a year. It can, because you realize something may be more important and it may be what you really need at that time. So you may start out with one word and you realize, this word is better. It's fine. Just like I talked about in episode 30 about an exceptional or an extraordinary goal. I set an extraordinary goal. Did I reach that goal? No, I didn't, but I took so many steps towards and forward to that goal. I don't regret it one bit. So if I could go back to just recap with you all, check out that book, One Word That Would Change Your Life. I'm going to put it in the show notes. Second is to the power of intention. Be intentional. If this is your word that you're going to choose, let that word be your constant reminder for you to show up for yourself personally, for your business. And then third, make sure that you're connecting, you're reaching out to others. If you're in business and nobody knows what you do, then you're basically shining your light under a basket and nobody can see it. Shine bright, honey. And then be in a room with other people that uplift you. Embrace growth and set your intentions. Set those core values. Check out episode 13 again. All right, guys. So I want this community to flourish. Remember, we're in this together. So I want to build this community. It's one of my goals to build this community, to continue for it to grow so I can support you and also celebrate each other and our wins and our journeys in flourishing this year. And a way you can do that, again, is sharing. Also, too, what I would love for you to do is head on over to my website, workitliveitownit.com/subscribe or /contact. And that's where you can sign up for my newsletter. I will send you 2 items of value a month. I promise I won't spam you, but 2 items of value a month. Those are things that I don't discuss on the podcast. And they can be real estate related, but also professionally and personally related for growth. So again, head on over to workitliveitownit.com/contact and sign up for my newsletter to receive 2 items of value every month. So in order for us to grow and flourish, because I listened to my listeners last year, and even one of my friends who is in the UK, Natalie, thank you so much, because she was like, look, I know you're a realtor. What if I want to buy real estate in the United States? How many other people have you talked to that said, hey, I don't know what the home buying process is like? So for the first few episodes of this year, I'm going to go over the home buying process with people. So if you are a realtor, great. You want to tune in, listen in, that's fine. But also if you're an entrepreneur and you haven't bought a home yet, because I have a lot of entrepreneur friends who are not homeowners and they want to know what the process is like. I'm going to go over that with you. But not only that, if you're an entrepreneur and you already have a home, but you really want to delve into maybe retiring early through real estate investing, I'm going to be bringing some experts on to talk about real estate investing and also gaining financial clarity through real estate investing. So those are some episodes that you don't want to miss. So you want to, one, share this with your tribe and community, but also make sure you download. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I want to make sure that all of us flourish. But here's the thing. I want to hear from you. If my word of the year is flourish, I want to hear what your word of the year is. And one way you can do this is figure out what areas in your life or in your business need a little extra attention and growth this year. Again, let me say that question again. What areas in your life could use a little extra attention and growth this year? That may help you come up with your word of the year. And as a community, let's start flourishing together. I want to hear your thoughts and your ideas on the ways you're going to flourish this year. So thank you again for joining me and going on this exploration on how to discover your word of the year. And I am genuinely excited about the potential of the word that you're going to come up with this year. And remember, you have the power to work it, live it, own it in your everyday lives. Until next time, guys, keep flourishing. Take care. Bye.